Greetings historians, welcome to Lore of the Dragon. Today is going to be a little different. For a long while I've talked about the world of Spyro and its many details, but today I want to bring you to the world of Azeroth to uncover a little detail some might have missed or not even have heard about. To introduce those who don't know what Azeroth is, it is a place within the World of Warcraft. Well, that's simplifying it quite a bit, but let's just say it's a planet with vast lands and a deep history for now. Intertwined into this history were the species of which the subject of this talk hails from, the dragons. Dragons take many forms in this world, but among them are the youngest of their kin, the so-called dragon whelplings. There have been many over the years, ranging from those on the sideline to even those who have affected the course of history, but most recently we've heard tale of one called Spyro, the subject of today's talk. The entire history of Spyro isn't known at this time. This naturally then will go over what is currently known. To explain this story, however, I'll need to dive into other parts of the lore, so bear with me. In the world of Azeroth, there are 5 groups of dragons called Dragonflights. These include the Red Dragonflight, who were tasked with protecting life, and led by the Queen of the Dragons, Alexstrasza. The Green Dragonflight, now led by Mythera, daughter of Ysera, who was the first leader of the Green Dragonflight, defend a realm called the Emerald Dream from its counterpart, the Emerald Nightmare, a distorted realm of evil that corrupts all it touches. The Blue Dragonflight are stewards of arcane magic, led by Kalecgos. The Bronze Dragonflight are stewards of the Timeways, led by Nozdormu. And finally, the Black Dragonflight, warders of the Earth, who don't have an official leader, as their leader was slain years ago. But the dragon Wrathion has decided to self-proclaim himself as its head. All the leaders of the Dragonflights but Wrathion were what was called an aspect, at one point or another, of which is a dragon that is imbued with the power of what are called the Titans, which is something I'll hopefully get into at another time. But for now, all that is somewhat relevant is that they lost their powers after the defeat of Deathwing, the now deceased leader of the Black Dragonflight. Also, just a note, dragons can turn into anything. Primarily this is used for surveillance on other races, so at times a dragon might look like a human, an elf, or an orc, which is why Wrathion can look like this, and like this. But to return to the topic, each dragonflight has its own customs, along with whatever tasks they might have, which is another topic for another day. To spare you the time, I'll be focusing on the Blue Dragonflight for this. Generally, in the Blue Dragonflight, male names end with the suffix "gos", while females go by the suffix "gosa". This is broken occasionally, like in the case of Sephirius and Abi, but this is a general trend within the Blue Dragonflight. But with that being said, I think we're ready to talk about Spyro. With this new expansion to the World of Warcraft known as Dragonflight, a place known as the Dragon Isles were rediscovered after being hidden for 10,000 years. Within this recently discovered land is the Waking Shores. On the shores is a cobbled together place known as the Hissing Grotto. There was found a gathering of adventurers, including a black dragon who is known to be a follower of Sibelian, Visalia. She presents you with a quest named A Dragon's Day Off, and at the end you are gifted with the dragon whelpling companion, Spyro. Here's part of the quest description. A lifetime in the Outlands, always fighting, so little time to relax. A dragon just needs a day off. Now of course, Spyro is a reference to Spyro the Dragon, as some might have already picked up. However, just to point out the reasons why this is a reference, I'll just list them out here. The first thing that can be pointed out is, well, the purple scales. That and the very name Spyro is an Easter egg to Spyro the Dragon, who is implied to be an adventurer and hero of his home, known as the Dragon Realms. However, on top of that, even the setting is, or could be, a reference again to Spyro. For those who don't know, Spyro in his original adventures, particularly in Ripto's Rage, or rather Gateway to Glimmer, Spyro is found simply just trying to find a place to rest, turning to a resort known as Dragon Shores. Whether the Waking Shores is being used as a reference to Dragon Shores is not known, but a dragon just wanting a rest from adventuring? And if you still don't believe me, the pet description of Spyro literally states, "This dragon is all fired up. It looks like he's got some things to do." And now let me play you a clip from the original Spyro game.
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Quite a coincidence, I would say. But it's not just the references that intrigue me, but also the name itself, and this is going beyond the fact that it's just a reference to Spyro. Remember how I mentioned the Blue Dragonflight's naming convention tends to give a dragon the suffix ghosts if they're male? Well, Spyro Ghosts would be following that very naming convention. However, as you could probably tell, he's not blue, and not stated to be related to the Blue Dragonflight in any way. On top of that, he's in a quest given to you by a member of the Black Dragonflight, which raises even more questions. There have been cases where dragons steal other dragonflights' eggs, but what about Spyro Ghost being purple? Why the Blue Dragonflight suffix? Well, I do have a few explanations, but these are very, very loose. Arcane magic in the World of Warcraft, the very thing that the Blue Dragonflight are stewards of, is depicted as blue and lavender, or purple. So this might be an explanation. Another explanation would be that Spyro Ghost is literally just the child of a red dragon and a blue dragon, and that makes purple dragons. That's my other theory. Using color theory. But either way, I would imagine that a purple dragon coming from the Blue Dragonflight, or any dragonflight, would be rather odd. Very minor spoilers for the book Dawn of the Aspects, but I will say that the predecessors to the dragons, the aptly named proto-dragons, did come with purple variants. Whether this carried through to the modern dragonflights, however, is unknown. As for why a black dragon would be in possession of it, we may never know. Feel free to give your thoughts down in the comments below, and that will be all from me. Thank you all for watching, and I will say this is my first World of Warcraft video. It's been interesting actually getting into the lore, and having something really deep to, I guess, get into has been kind of exciting for me. I think that it's a nice break from some of the other stuff I've been doing. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Thank you all to those who have liked and commented on these videos throughout the years, and if you want to stick around, subscribe to the channel. I'd like to see you around. And thank you to everyone who's been supporting me over on Patreon. And that is Abyssal Loot and Lifegiver 100 with the red gems, Jabby with the red and green gems, and Shaggy and Kyasu Shin with the blue gems. Also, just so everyone knows, blue gems get early access to videos. So if you want to get early access to this stuff, head on over to Patreon. I will say though, no pressure. Watching is good enough for me. But anyway, I'll see you all the next time we talk about lore or speculate. Stay safe, historians.